Good morning. Well, this is kind of the first day steelheading of the year.
It's already 20 after 9, so
Yeah, no, we're not.
Not exactly a powerful start.
I don't get too crazy early season steelhead fishing anymore. I used to go hard all of December, marching banks, looking for that early steelhead. Now I just know they're coming. They're coming. In January, I'll put in hard effort. I'll start early January, but for now, it's just a little Boxing Day Derby pre-scout going on. We're just going to go. I actually got a few friends out on the river right now, so you might run into some friends today while we're filming. Yeah, I'm just going to go toss some beads around, hopefully maybe catch a trout, a bull trout, maybe a steelhead. I don't know. I have no real ambitions, or I have ambition, but I don't predict getting a steelhead, but you never know.
We have limited time too. It's December 23rd, and we've got somewhere to be at 6 o'clock tonight, so
we can fish till 5:45.
No, we gotta go home and put ourselves together.
It's dark out at 4:30.
I'm really excited. We have some wireless mics now, so we're gonna have Rod mic'd up. It should be a game changer, because half the time you can't hear what he's saying because he's turned away from me and he's got the roar of the river going by. This should be interesting because we'll be able to hear things that I can't even hear him saying when I'm out with him. So when I'm editing, I'll be able to hear every word. You better watch yourself, mister.
I don't say anything like that quietly to myself ever. I do talk to myself too. Apparently I walk around in the morning before I go fishing, and
that's not talking to himself. That's low-key trying to wake everybody up.
Or that.
Like talking to the pets and himself loudly. Mm-hmm.
I think it's just talking to myself and the pets.
Sure.
Okay, we'll see you at the water.
By the way, there's a big eagle in
That's
that tree?
Darth Vader, man. Looks like Darth Vader's helmet sitting over there.
Weird.
That's a good sign, man.
Is it?
Means I'm in the dark side. I'm bringing light. It's looking really good. No one's here. I got high hopes I get a fish out of this somewhere. What's that?
Oh, nothing.
Bushes?
Yeah. Tree.
All you plus 45-year-old men, I feel your pain.
You mean they feel your pain?
Someone's feeling the pain. It's us old guys. All right. Goo. We're gonna chuck a little goo, and then once that goo falls off, then we're going bead. I think bead, it's a bead day today. It's a bead.
So bead and snot?
Well, it'll be bead and snot, but right now it's gonna be Mondo chunk of roe, because I just happen to have a Mondo chunk in my bucket there. If the right fish is there, it's gonna bite a lot of things.
Well, R.I.P. your nice hat.
Why? I didn't touch it.
Oh, you will.
Told you I saw a fish.
Coho fishing? That wasn't the plan.
Whatever. That's good, because a lot of times when there's coho there this time of year, there'll be trout and even a steelhead behind them. It's gotten really high, the water, higher than I thought. Usually that spot over there is really good. It's too much water. All right, everybody, it's Rod Toth from Bent Rods Guiding and Fishing. Yeah, I'm out here today. I'm just doing a little early scouting for steelhead season. And I got some ideas for you guys for little tips and tricks to get through the season. Little stuff that'll get you an extra fish or two, or maybe save you that fish of a lifetime. Yeah, I'm excited. 2024 steelhead, let's go. So boots in the winter. So around here in British Columbia, we get actual winter. So we get snow, we get rain, we get slush, we get freezing cold, we get a lot of different stuff. So you gotta kinda, I usually have multiple pairs of boots. I know some of you can't afford it, then just buy, for winter steelheading, I would suggest Vibram boots. Vibram soled wading boots with spikes is the best, because when you have any snow in the game, and like you see here, I have felt. I'll just show you here. So I got the felt. So felt is good when when it's not snow, no slush or snow, just like this. Felt's fine. It's good for wading across the river, but as soon as you get into the snow game, the felt, the snow sticks to it, builds up, and literally you could break an ankle so easy with that. It'll build up that big when you're sitting there, you're banging it off, banging it, and it's just, it gets treacherous. So that's a good tip for you. If you can afford two pairs, get a pair of felt and a pair of Vibrams with spikes, and you're good, you're golden. If not, I would choose the Vibrams, honestly, for if you're gonna have a pair of winter steelhead boots. How you dress, really important. So yeah, you can just look at the Weather Channel before you're gonna head out. My rule is if it's below zero, it's a long john day, gloves, toque, all that jazz, lots of layers, wool, you know, a good outer shell. A lot of times you'll get that, a lot of times when it's really cold out in the valley, it's outflow wind coming down the valley from the north. And if you don't have something to cut the wind down, that's where you're getting, that'll make you the coldest. If you just have like soft clothing like I always wear, and a wool sweater and that, it doesn't stop the wind, so you get pretty cold. The other thing is keep your ears warm. If you keep your ears and head warm, it'll stay way warmer. And some fingerless gloves, and some heat packs, and a couple pairs of socks. Another thing, don't pack your feet really tight into your boots and waders. You want some air in there. I used to put like 5 pairs of socks on, and it was all really tight, and my feet would just freeze. It's just a blood flow. Keep that in mind, lots of layers. And another thing, sunglasses, very important. I was just fishing this run right now, and I don't have my polarized glasses with me, and you know, I can't see all the bigger rocks where fish would sit. Like I can barely make them out, where if I had the polarized glasses, I could see the bottom way better. Like people think it's just for seeing fish. With steelhead, it's pretty rare you're gonna see them. Usually the polarized glasses are just for cutting the glare off that bright winter sun and seeing those rocks and seeing those deeper spots. Pack light so you can keep on the move. You don't want to be having to like hike back to get an extra fishing rod. So I just bring one rod for the day, choose what rod I'm taking. A backpack with just the essentials in it, so you're not taking the backpack off, having to go looking for the backpack all day. And you know, like one rod, and then if you got a net, if net's fine. Like I think nets have their place. But if you have a net, make sure that you can like put it in your backpack or have a way of carrying it where you can still hike through the bush without getting it caught on everything. Because I think it's more important for steelhead fishing to be mobile. On the tackle end of things, I don't want to get it. I always tell people, fish whatever way you like fishing. Don't try to, I'm not telling you fish my way. I have a way of doing it. People have been asking me on my videos what I fish. So I'm just fishing a small bait caster, braided 20-pound line. I have it usually, right now I don't, but usually I'll have it uni knotted to some clear line. For anything, any part of my line that's going to be under the water, I'll have clear line, like fluorocarbon, and then a leader, and then a swivel and a leader. Leaders 12 to 15 pound, hooks anywhere from a number 4 to a 1/0. That's kind of what I use, nothing fancy. But what's really important is when I buy rods, I always make sure I buy ones that don't have the tiny little guides on them. So a lot of these newer companies that don't really, like they build rods for other places, not so much for steelhead, winter steelhead fishing. They put lots of tiny guides on them, and those in the winter when you get wet and cold, well, you will have a nightmare with freezing. People ask me too, like, what about putting stuff in your guides to stop freezing? There is stuff you can use, waxes and sprays, and me personally, I just let it freeze, and I just every so often knock it out. Dull hooks. So quite often, you know, I'll get hung up on the bottom, and I'll get it off, get it back, check the hook, and it's like, it's still pretty sharp. See, during steelhead season, that doesn't fly. I just immediately redo my leader, or go into my bag where I have pre-tied leaders and put a new leader on, because the last thing you want with a steelhead is either a dull hook or a frayed leader. Anything like that could be a disaster of the fish of a lifetime. Like the last couple of years, I've actually broke off some of my biggest steelhead on I think I was using too light a leader, and that's also kind of goes against my own rule, but we've had very low clear water and I kind of get caught up in using that lighter leader. And yeah, I've broke off a couple jumbos. So yeah, for leader strength for steelhead season around here, I'd say never lower than 8 pound, nothing over 15, and you're fine in that range. If the water's got color, 15, always. If the water's starting to get clear, go to 12. But when you start getting down to 10s and 8s, you hook any fish over 15 pounds and a rough piece of water, you're gonna be in trouble. So keep that in mind. Float fishing for winter steelhead, move your dang float all the time, please. Move your float. I see people that actually will fish a run and they won't move their float one time, and they just skip all the parts of the run that aren't the exact depth that they're fishing, and they're actually looking for water that matches the depth they're set at. That's not how you fish a run. You start at the top of the run, it's 2 feet deep, you have your float set at 2 feet, and then as you start working down the run, as it gets deeper, move your float, move your float, move your float, move your float. Oh, got to go shorter, deeper, shorter, deeper. And that's where the polarized glasses come in, because you can see those rocks and stuff, because sometimes you think that you're deep enough, but you're not. It's just there's a big rock, and every time the float goes by, your stuff hits that big rock, so you think, oh, I'm too deep. But a lot of times that's where the fish sit, either beside, behind, or in front of those big rocks. So that's where the polarized glass come in. But yeah, move your float, constantly moving your float. Always watch for clues. Watch for clues, watch. Now with steelhead, you're not gonna see a lot of rolling fish. Like you will later in the spring, you'll see some rollers that'll kind of tell you where they're sitting. That's not what I mean. When I say watch for clues, mostly watch what's happening around you. Like I know there's a lot of people steelhead fishing these days, so keep in mind that if you see fish get caught in a spot, log that spot. Now you might go back there 10 times and not get one. That might not be a real magic spot, but even look at that water. Maybe that isn't the spot, maybe that's just that type of water. So every time you see something like that happen, or every time you hook a fish, really pay attention to what it was, how deep it was, how fast the water was. Was it choppy? Was it a seam? Was it 2 channels coming together? Like always think about that stuff. Don't just go like, okay, I heard they're getting them in this run, and then you go stand in the middle of that run for a few hours and fish that run. That is not the way you want to watch for clues and really pay attention to what's going on out there. That stuff pays off. And that's why time on the water, really important, because you just get more clues and it helps a lot. And one last thing is just fish the way you like. Like I know everyone's like, no man, you need a center pin and you need a fly fish, or like, just fish the way you want. You can catch these things on a float fishing rod, a fly fishing rod, a spoon fishing setup, twitching jigs. Do what you like and have fun. Like this is about having fun. This isn't a competition. You will get better as you do it more. You'll get better. And if you're really stuck, you can always give me a call, sign up for one of my classes, or else come out on a trip with me and I can try to help you eliminate a lot of what you're doing wrong or what you're overthinking. There's a lot of overthinking goes into this. People are always worried about what they're using, not as much about where they're putting it. Many things work, just got to put it in the right place. But other than that, have a great season, and tight lines and bent rods. Oh, and one last thing, please subscribe, share, and like all our videos. We appreciate that. And give me comments too. If you have any questions, go comments on our YouTube show, and we'll do our best to answer you. Tight lines and bent rods.
Well, that worked out nicely. So it's December 23rd. We're going to a friend's for a Christmas gathering tonight, and Rod's got us out here on the river. I wanted to be there too, but we came upon his friend Brock, and it just seemed like this was meant to be. So Rod has gone fishing with Brock now, and I'm going shopping. Merry Christmas.